Reddit users, could you please share your stories of how you were betrayed? In her journal, I saw that in October of last year she finally did it. For 3 days straight while I was out of town for training. I confronted her and she wouldn't tell me who. I guessed the man in another state and she said yes, it was him. I also found out that on my birthday in December she supposedly was going to a coworker's birthday party, but I noticed from text logs that she had contacted my best friend at midnight several times. It took a lot of snooping to discover everything. We had scheduled counseling. She claimed to be serious about working on it, but I discovered her Discord chats. She was cheating on me with my best friend. Regularly, on my birthday, I took said friend to a professional football game for his birthday, the day after Christmas, all the time. It continued after we had scheduled counseling, after my friend knew we were trying to work on it. There's so many more details, but she agreed to a divorce and has since moved out. I have to pay her thousands of dollars to get her off the deed to the house, so I guess it's lose-lose for me, but I'm trying to move forward. I guess I'm posting this here because even though I scheduled counseling in December, it doesn't start until next month. 3 total families affected minimum, all with children. I'm not sure if there's more and I fear I will lose my relationship with my stepdaughter because of all this. I just want the hate out of my heart at this point. But for right now, if either of you are reading this, F you and you deserve each other. So, after a couple of years, I am telling y'all this story of mine and also giving you advice. This is lengthy story but worth the time. In 2017, I've met my ex-girlfriend while I was in a park with some friends and she was also with us. She was, at the time, solid 8/10, friendly, always smiling, and nobody would even guess she will change her behavior so fast after I started dating with her. Let's call her Mrs. V. I was 19 years old and she was 18 years old. To give some of a backstory, I was with her for 3.5 years and most of the time, it was okay, but back to the story. It was December 2018, she told me she is not feeling good in relationship and she wants a pause. I was thinking, why does she needs a pause after we had pretty good relationship? We drove to a lot of places around our country, spent quite a lot time together. I was even willing to help her mother with some problems back then and had a really good relationship with her mom and younger sister she had. I'm going to get a lot of hate after this part, but it is an important part of the story. In January 2019, not even 2 weeks after she wanted to spend more time with family and blah blah, I found out she was seeing other guy. I was, in that time, not so wealthy and also I had 80 kilograms or so. That guy was wealthier and also looked like an athletic and gym person. Later that week I found this news. Friend told me it was intentionally done by her friend. She brainwashed Mrs. V. That I was an idiot, loser and complete mess. Not to mention I was earning a good buck, not 6 figures but enough for being stress-free. When I confronted her about that, she gave me pretty much obvious and old, but we had a pause and we were separated and blah blah. You get it. She told me she wasn't sleeping with him or she didn't do anything intimate, what also many people told me. So I forgived basically complete part of this time and moved on. Months went by and she changed her behavior towards me rapidly and it got worse month by month. I also got some loans for sh*t I was giving her, like mobile phone, laptop, used car, complete repair for that car, etc. I don't know why I did that, but guess it was blind love. In 2020, things got really serious and, to be honest, pretty bad. In May 2020 we agreed to go to vacation. So I've paid basically whole vacation and she insisted that her mom and sister will go with us. I had no real problem because I had a good relationship with them. After that vacation, she was starting to distancing from me, from my family and from our time together. In November 2020, I got a text from her. Literally gibberish like Sankum and so on. After some time she told me she is completely wasted at some friend's house and she needs to go home ASAP. So I've got my car, drove to the place she described, but halfway I got a call from her phone. I've picked it up and I was talking with her friend. She told me don't go here because there is some man who wants to beat the crap out of you. Didn't understood why, but she also told me, Mrs. V, was talking about how abusive I was 30 minutes earlier and I forced her to go home. None of that was true. I've arrived to that place and instead of getting me smashed over the floor, I was welcomed by the same guy who wanted to sweep the floor with me. I've picked her up and when I was arriving to her flat, she told me in alcoholic gibberish that I've wished I was single to F guys and have fun with girls. I've asked what? And got only nothing, I am drunk. I've told her what happened day after and she bursted into tears. She said she loves me, she didn't want to be like that, etc. Really cheap excuses. Lately in December she started partying, heavily. My friends told me that she was seeing with Mr. D. So they invited me to one party she was in also with Mr. D. Nothing was really sus, she had a good time with friends and he was there, too. But nothing happened. That night I snapped into investigate mode because something was telling me something is off. We had our locations connected so I pretty much knew where she was. For the whole 3 years, she didn't turn her position off, but that night she did. 2 days after she called me she goes to her mom's new place and we will not be seeing each other for 2 days. Here comes the fun and most effed up thing. Later that day my friend called me, he saw her car standing on the street in the town and he wanted to say hello, because I was sitting in the passenger seat. I was ill and lying in my bed whole day. Also, that town wasn't anywhere near her mom's place. I've tried to call her but her phone was dead. Or as she told me so. Then my instincts kicked in, full time. I did some really good research where Mr. D lives, asked her mom how often she is with her and also asked her about that night she was supposed to be with her. As I say, puzzle was assembled pretty fast, but I had no concrete evidence she was cheating. We have a hill above my old place where we were frequently driving to stare at the city. It was January 2021 and I had no sleep, so I've looked at the location map. She did not turn her phone off, so I had a solid evidence. She was on the same hill above my old place. I've woke up my neighbor and told him to get in the FING car. She will not recognize your car, and we drive there ASAP. I've explained to him while we were driving there and I've saw her giving Mr. D a BJ in the same car I've paid for with pretty high loan. Then, when she noticed someone was passing them, she turned her phone off for a while and then on. She called me that she thinks I was on the hill. I told her sure I was. And guess what I saw? I've told her that if she doesn't want me to tell everyone that she is a FING cheater, she'd be better showing at my old place ASAP. What broke me completely was, she arrived 10 minutes after I confronted her about that with Mr. D inside of the car. He didn't know she had a boyfriend and also she told him that she bought her car by herself and she broke up with me because I wasn't providing her anything. What a piece of shit, I told to myself. I was seriously angry. She told me it is not how it looks like, but as you can imagine, I wasn't buying it at all. In the end, she told me she fed around 20 men through whole relationship. Also one on that vacation I paid while I was asleep. Her excuse was you were sleeping and not paying attention to me, so I went into the city and fed the first guy I met. From being a victim to being a strict B in 10 minutes. Not to mention she was mentally and verbally abusing me whole time we were together. Made scenes, told her friends I was whacking her, etc. Not really visible, but she was doing lot of crazy sh*t around our friends and also in private. After this, I was diagnosed with depression and also got tested for STD. Luckily I had only severe depression. Now, I have a new girlfriend. We are living in Austria and I've started a new life, unfortunately with crippling debt and severe mental issues. The point is, never ever underestimate your guts and bad feeling. Also, I will never ever trust any woman again. I have a great relationship now, but I have huge trust issues that never fade away. My best friend enticed my boyfriend during a Christmas party I was passed out in the other room at. She got on his lap and started kissing him. He kissed her back. Her boyfriend saw, and she convinced him not to tell me. Her boyfriend eventually couldn't keep it a secret anymore and told me months later on my birthday when we were all together again. She has been my best friend since we were 5 years old. I was in my later teenage years when her betrayal happened. The thing that hurt the worst wasn't her actions, but the simple fact she hid that he could do that to me. She could have said, "Listen, I messed up, but he isn't a good guy either." I knew her whole family, and she used to let me stay the night at her place when my folks were abusive. She was my salvation growing up, and she took it all away. I am almost 30 now, and I still haven't forgiven her. It was the hardest, most excruciating heartbreak I ever endured, and that's including my fiancé of 3 years cheating on me. I still speak to her family as they were my second family, but my love for her has been forever shattered. My ex-best friend and I knew each other since we were 10. 15 years later, I had the pleasure of cutting off our friendship due to the same sort of actions in this post. Final straw for me was when she tried setting me up with her friend who she insisted was perfect for me. I mean, he was sort of cute, but not who I found attractive. There was an awkward kiss, and that was when I knew there was absolutely nothing there. She then went off the radar for months, came back to accuse me of trying to get between her and her new boyfriend, and that I made a much bigger deal than it actually was. She just wanted the satisfaction of taking him away from me. They now have 2 kids together. My actual friends now are completely non-toxic. So, the wife saw my DM. She texted me saying that she is incredibly grateful to me for telling her that her husband was cheating on her. She is glad that I notified her of her husband's infidelity. I told her, of course, I do not condone cheating at all, and what my friend and her husband were doing was disgusting. She agreed and said she had suspicions that her husband was being unfaithful. She once again said she was thankful for what I did for her. I wished her the best of luck with whatever she decides to do. The conversation with the wife was short. And honestly, I preferred to be short. I was feeling guilty because I might have crushed this woman's entire life. But then I remembered I did nothing wrong. Her husband and my friend did. He moved countries temporarily for over half a year and we became long distance. I went to visit him, and after 2 days of being back home, I found he had sex with another girl for days after our 8-year anniversary. He said he was drunk and he would never in a million years do it again. He met her at a club and they walked home together. Over a span of 2 hours, he had countless opportunities to stop and realize what he was doing. He said if I never found out, he would have taken this secret to the grave. But he's telling me we're soulmates and I should know that he loves me. And that it was a mistake. What do I do? Does he even love me? I feel stupid, but I want to forgive him because I love him and wanted my life with him, but I am so heartbroken. He was my soulmate and we had our whole lives planned. We really loved each other and I never ever thought he would cheat. He was always so against it. He's always shown me how much he loves me, and that's why I'm still in shock and almost paralyzed by this situation. Last night my boyfriend fell asleep while we were watching a movie on his iPad. I checked his messages. I know, not okay, but I had a bad feeling for a while. I found sex chats with multiple women, talking about meeting up and sending the same pictures as he sends me. Very intimate. Even sending them pictures and clothes from me or toys he got us. Sending them pics from our vacations, acting like he was there alone. He insists he never met up with any of them. Just texting. He says he has a problem. He has bipolar disorder, and he already requested to go back to therapy at his doctor's. This is the second time this happened. Last time I found chats on Twitter. Before went out, he used to spend a lot of money on women on the internet. He says it's a kind of self-harm. I don't know if I should give him another chance. I feel like I can't trust him anymore. Should I break up with him? Never give a cheater a second chance to cheat on you again and again. He's not to be trusted. Why stay if he wants other women? Go find someone who wants just you for everything you have to offer. Yes, you should. You already gave him a second chance and he didn't care about it. Bipolar disorder doesn't justify cheating in any way. He'll continue to cheat on you. The only change you'll see is him hiding better his behaviors from you. Good luck, OP. So I'm in such a difficult situation right now. My boyfriend and I have been in a relationship for a couple of years now. He recently confessed to cheating on me 2 years ago. I had my suspicions then, and I confessed that I cheated on him as well, 6 months ago. The issue I have is that my boyfriend slept with the person whereas I made out with another person. Does that help at all? Does that mean I'm less of a shitty person? I don't know if there's a possibility of us being together. We both agree we messed up big time. Friends, thank you for watching. Please share your stories below in the comments and see you on the next videos. Have a good day.